Hi everyone, welcome back to Love and Pieces. This is Suzanne Jones. Thanks for stopping by. If this is your first video with me, let me clarify that I'm not in my craft room. I'm actually on the couch recovering from knee replacement surgery, and I'm bringing out small projects that I can work on out here in the living room. If you have watched some of my other videos, maybe you've seen the ones where I had actually advanced to using a tripod instead of just holding my phone. The difference here being my cats have completely destroyed that tripod. They'd already broken one leg, so it's a bipod, and now they've tipped it over and it is not wanting to hold my phone. So I will have to find a good way to hold my phone and kind of, I guess, actually get into this if I'm going to keep making a channel. So we're back to just holding my phone and explaining what I'm doing. Today I'm working on labeling some of my markers. I got a new set of blends in, and so I'm going back and I'm kind of working with them. I'm also doing some color theory things that I'm going to share, so I've got several videos in mind. This is just a quick one to share how I'm labeling my blends. The first thing I want to share is the label template, and this comes from Angie Judah or Judea, I'm not sure. I call her Chicken Scratch. That's her name on YouTube, and how I know her. And she is a wonderful YouTube crafter that does a lot with Stampin' Up! Products. And so if you don't know her, go check her out on YouTube. I will also link in this video's description a link to where you can print off these labels. So be sure and go by her page, give her some love, and go there to print them off if you want to do this. She's got them organized by color family or group. So you can see there's the 2325 in color, and there's one for each Stampin' blend. So the top one is marked with a L for light, and then it's got the name of the color, and then the bottom one is D for dark, and it's got the name as well. So she tells you down here in the instructions, if you want to print this, if you want to be able to put a label on each end of your blends, then print it twice so that you've got a light, two labels light for each end and two labels dark for each end. If you only want to label one end, then you only need one sheet. She also says that you can use the 3/8 inch circle punch to cut out each circle and then add it to the marker cap with a mini glue dot. I got to tell you, I find myself turning and rotating those blends, constantly trying to figure out which one I've got in my hand. I've just now started paying attention to the width of the marker stripe so that I know which is the brush tip end and which is the fine point. I don't know, there's just a lot going on with those blends, and my eyes aren't as good as they used to be. I may look 29, but I see 51. So anyway, I want to share with you kind of how I use this sheet that she so lovingly provided, and if you want to do it, be sure and stop by her page. So let me put that away and share my journey with this. The first thing I did is thought, oh, how wonderful would it be if I colored all those in, and that way I could see the color that it's actually going to turn out to be. Because I promise you, the color of the cap and what the blends actually dry to on the page are different. And maybe I'm not as color sensitive or something, but I can't tell the difference in them by color just by looking at the cap. So I thought, oh, that way I'll have the color right there with it. It worked, and most of them you can see, but there are a few that are so dark that it's hard to read. Some of them are perfectly fine. Some of them are a little too dark. So I knew I would struggle with that, and my mind won't let me do some colored and some not. So I chose to go with them all just black and white, and that was that first page that I showed you that had some cut out. What I cut out was the 22, 24 in color family, because that's what I'm working with right now. And let me show you another variation that I did. She said to use the 3/8 inch circle punch. I don't know if you can read that or not, but this is the Stampin' Up! 3/8 inch circle punch. And when you use this one, I don't know if I can get one in there for you to actually see. Oh, well, looky there. When you use this punch, you're able to punch it out, and you get outside the black line. If you can see that, you got the full circle showing and then just a little bit outside of it. What I ran into is when I started doing that, I would get the first ones just fine, but then the next ones would have like a little half moon out. It started being really tight to have that extra space around each one and not clip into what the next one was supposed to be. So I actually have a 1/4 inch, very old whale tail, 1/4" punch from Stampin' Up. And that's what I chose to use. And you can see here what I've been punching out. It actually punches just inside that black ring. You still get the name, you still get the L and the D, it's still easy to read. It's just inside the circle instead of outside the circle. The only ones I've had to watch out for are some that are full right up to the edges, like Parakeet Party. I know I'm going to have to be real careful with that one. But I can still get it out and still read it, and so I'm working with the 1/4" circle. Either one of those would work. If you don't have those, you may just have to kind of experiment with what small circle punches you have access to and see which one works best for you. That's just a little bit of the learning curve. But what I'm doing is I'm just going through and I'm punching, and the reason, let me show this. She said print out 2. I actually printed out 3. One so that I can label each end of my, where is it? There it is, of the Stampin' blends, because when I've got it in my hand, instead of turning it and rotating and trying to figure out which one I've got, I know I can just point to the end and have it. This is light Tahitian Tide. This may not be for you, but it certainly does help me. It just, I don't know, eases a little bit of aggravation. So there's my Tahitian Tide, and I'm working on labeling those. I've got one more end to do, so let me put that one back down here. But what I figured out in this is that with that 1/4" punch, these actually work for your Stampin' Right markers as well. So if you want to label your Stampin' Up or Stampin' Right markers, those are the blends, these are the markers. If you want to label your markers, you can use that same printout, just the 1/4" circle punch, okay? And it works beautifully. Another little tip I'll share with you while I'm on that, I printed mine on printer paper just because that's what was in the printer, and I just clicked print. The only problem I'm having is the paper is thin enough, the printer paper is thin enough that it's not wanting to punch cleanly. I've sharpened both of my punches. I've tried to figure it out. You can see it's kind of tearing some of them there instead of punching clean. Here's the solution I found to that. If you're having that trouble with any of your punches, that maybe you're using a thinner paper and it's not punching out clean, just slide a piece of scrap cardstock in behind it. If you use regular, like just double up this paper, I don't find it works as well. I think it just kind of, when it's thin like that, instead of punching through, it tends to bend it, and that's why it's not cutting. Just putting more of this in there, I just find that it jams my punch. But I'll put it on top of a piece of cardstock. I don't glue it down. I just hold the two together and slide them both into my punch at the same time, and then it will punch through both of them smooth, clean as butter. So if you can see, I think one of those might be a little bit cleaner. The top one looks a little bit cleaner than the bottom one. I think that's where I punched it with the cardstock behind it. If that gives you any kind of idea. So that's a tip if your punches are bending the paper and not punching through cleanly. So that's that part of the tip. Here's the other tip. I've got all these pages of glue dots from like Paper Pumpkin and kits and things that I don't really use them when I'm making the kits. I tend to go with tear and tape. They are perfect for these labels. So what I've done is I'll just pop off the little paper cover, and then I will stick down my label on top of it. And I will use my take your pick tool. Where is it? There it is. With that flat end, and just scoop up the label and stick it onto the end of my Stampin' Right. Now, I don't have any illusions that I'm going to be able to do this one-handed. But, you know, why not try it? That's the whole point of all this. Why not try it? You can see it, get a real good look at my hand there. This may not work. Okay. I think I'm just messing things up. I thought I could hold my camera and do it, but I need two right hands to be able to do that. So just know that it's really simple. You can stick it on, and then that flat pointer part, or the flat blade part of the take your pick tool, I really like that. It's kind of the perfect width to press this down with, and help you press down on it good and hard and firm, so you can make sure it makes a good attachment. Okay, the last part of this video kind of went wonky. Sorry for the videography blips, but you know, I'm trying. Anyway, I hope this helps you with some organizational tips. I hope you will come back because I've got some ideas of other ways to manage your color inventory. Again, I'm not very creative with colors. I don't know what looks good together, and sometimes what I put together on my own doesn't look good to other people. So that's a place where I really feel a weakness, and I've found some tools to help me work through that, and I'm going to be sharing those in some other videos, so I hope you stick around. Come back for more videos. I hope you're creative today. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you're nice to people. See you later.